Nick Newman's recovery from his car crash may become one of the most emotionally devastating storylines on The Young and the Restless. What initially appeared to be a painful but manageable injury now shows signs of turning into something far more complicated. After Matt Clark forced Nick off the road, the resulting crash left Nick with a fractured left fibula, a serious injury that required immediate surgery. Doctors were optimistic following the operation, and when Nick first woke up, he seemed stable, giving everyone hope that his recovery would be difficult but temporary. That optimism quickly faded when Nick was suddenly hit with intense, unbearable pain. Sharon Newman was caught off guard when Nick gripped his leg and urgently demanded that she get a nurse so his pain medication could be increased. The severity of his reaction was alarming, especially since it came after doctors had already reassured them that the surgery went well. This moment raised an important red flag, not just medically, but emotionally and psychologically. One possibility is that Nick's injury is worse than initially believed. There could be nerve damage, complications from surgery, or another underlying condition that hasn't yet been diagnosed. If that's the case, Nick may be facing a much longer and more painful recovery than anyone expected. However, the way Nick fixated on needing stronger pain medication suggests another potential direction, one that could lead to a painkiller dependency storyline. The show has a long history of exploring addiction, particularly within the Newman family. Nikki Newman's struggles with alcoholism are deeply rooted in the show's legacy, and more recently, Nikki's sobriety was threatened again when Claire Newman and Jordan manipulated events that pushed her off the wagon. That storyline demonstrated how trauma and stress can trigger relapse, even for someone who has fought hard to stay sober. Now, Nick may be walking a similar path, though through prescription medication rather than alcohol. The crash caused by Matt Clark may end up being the catalyst for a devastating chain reaction. What starts as a legitimate medical need could slowly spiral into dependence, denial, and emotional withdrawal. Nick has always seen himself as strong, reliable, and in control. Admitting that he's becoming dependent on pain medication would be incredibly difficult for him, making it easier for the problem to grow unnoticed until it reaches a breaking point. This potential addiction could impact every part of Nick's life. His judgment may become impaired, his temper shorter, and his relationships strained. Professionally, Nick could begin making reckless decisions or stepping back from responsibilities he once handled with ease. Personally, the people closest to him may feel shut out as he insists that everything is under control when it clearly isn't. Sharon is likely to play a pivotal role in this storyline. As someone who knows Nick better than most, she may start noticing troubling patterns, requests for early refills, mood swings, irritability, or defensiveness whenever the topic of medication comes up. If Sharon begins to suspect that Nick is relying too heavily on painkillers, it could lead to emotional confrontations, denial, and heartbreaking moments where she's forced to choose between enabling him and standing up for his well-being. This storyline also carries deeper emotional weight because Nick has already lived through addiction-related trauma within his family. Watching his mother struggle with sobriety has shaped his views on addiction, making the possibility of him falling into a similar trap even more tragic. Nick may convince himself that prescription medication is different, that it's doctor-approved, and that he has everything under control until he doesn't.